Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? Welcome back to the Lighthouse again. So we're going to put a second story on today, and this turned out to be a total pain in the neck. So I've cut out a phenomenal amount of fiddling around. So just to give you an idea of how much, the video is what, 20-25 minutes long or so? And the initial clip for the first section of the build was longer than that. So yeah, quite the project this was. So we'll jump straight into the actual doing rather than the faffing around. So about halfway round, we'll stick a staircase in. Dead simple, pull out the floor, put it straight in. I need to put some supports underneath in time, but I'll get round to it. But the hard part initially is that I've got existing roofs that are all different heights because of the way I built the lower level. So I need to get the floor of this, excuse me, second story above that level, but not so high as it looks like it's just floating above it, which those steps were very convenient for. So if we group select from the stairs as an anchor point, you can simply just move it into position like this. Well, it might have been easier to put this floor piece in before I put that in. There we go. So, where are we next? Just the other side. When I make my mind up what I'm doing. So, yep, same principle on this side. So this time I'm actually just going to place the thing and then snap it on. With a little bit of fiddling around. So there's a few bits in this that were particularly awkward, and it's large part stems from the fact that I'm building a circle out of square pieces, as one commenter phrased it. Oh yeah, picking the easy builds as always. So here, as we're trying to make a circle out of squares, we're just going to position it bit by bit and adjust it to try and make sure everything levels up, because I can't simply group select it in and it won't snap into place. So it's still a little bit too high there. Try not to delete the roof by accident. Nudge, nudge, nudge. There we go, I think. No, it's still slightly too high. Here we go, that's the badger. So, why on earth did I do that? I don't know. Oh well, it works anyway. So we'll snap a couple of floor pieces in, this next one on the edge of it. The goal here is to sort of take inspiration from Libertalia, as I said last time, and have it follow the slope of the lighthouse, which is leaning over towards the left now, right, towards the south. So I want the front edge to be a little further back than the layer before it, the story before it, whilst that back edge again hugs the walls, which is slightly too close here, so we'll have to manually put some walls in there, but it's not too much of a problem. I also want it to be slightly smaller than the lower level, partly because of the way the roof slopes. This side we're on the underhang rather than the backwards leaning edge. So we're going to put a little patio on the end there, which is why I've got the door in. I've got a bit of a hole in the roof there. So there's a lot of fixing of little holes like this going on, which is awkward. Okay, so this particular plywood piece, despite the fact it's got that cut off end, it still thinks it's a solid rectangle, so it's slightly awkward. This one won't go in, but by the time I've put another building piece over the top of it, like that, you won't be able to tell from inside anyway, so it's all good. There's a bit of clipping going on there, but for some bizarre reason that I can't quite put my finger on, I don't actually mind it. It doesn't stick through the wall or the lighthouse on the inside, so that's the main thing. Just snap some outer walls on, nice and quick. Plug up the gaps. In this case, it's just sort of mixing up the pieces a little bit, which I have done there, even though it doesn't look like it. And we have the basic bones of the level. And plenty more lighthouse to build up, so we'll put another floor on in a moment. I've only really got two options for where to put it. It's either here or the other one, and here it shall be. Fortunately, so we've got the half walls around there, we can snap straight in. And that's not going to work because, whoops, I run into a wall. So flip that round, and when I don't run into posts, we've got plenty of room to get around the thing. So because we're going straight from one step to another and it's a bit of a jump, it's kind of awkward to put a staircase on there. The little ones that I've used can just snap to it, but you can't really transition from the one staircase? Halloween on the brain? One staircase to the other too easily, so by using the pallets here it's a little bit easier to create a simpler staircase. You can just run up like that. And that corner piece went in very, very conveniently. Which is pretty much the only time in this it actually does. So I'll get some roofs in, so I've got a platform to build on, sort of. The good thing about using these flat roofs is the shack upper floors, like the one that the top of that staircase is essentially formed of, consist of a single shack floor like this and then a flat roof underneath it, but as a single piece. So by putting this floor piece directly on top of a flat roof that has snapped to the lower level, and now it'll straight away be the same height as the staircase, so much less fiddling around. Same thing on this side. So we'll nudge that into place, and here we go. Plug up that gap. A slight bit of texture flickering went on while I was doing this, which I didn't leave in the video actually. But if that happens, just swap the pieces out. There you go, there's a tiny little bit. You can change them over or spin them around and sometimes it eliminates it. It's just too much information in one tiny little space. So as always, we're trying to go far beyond what the game is designed to allow us to do. There we go. It's a little further forward than I really wanted it to be, but it would wind up being very, very narrow if I didn't do that. The end result is pretty good, even if I do say so myself. Fortunately, these two are not good. Well, that one will snap, but the other one won't, and this one won't either, if I remember rightly. But they're going quite easily enough anyway, so. Little balcony on there. And we'll wall off again. With this, it helps to just pick a piece, snap it in, try and mix up the styles a little bit, and then it leaves you with loads of gaps to plug, but it creates a really kind of organic look to the build, so it's part of the reason I'm flying through it. That and it's straight snapping, which is fairly simple to do. Now get the roofs on so we know what we've got to work with. And this one, unfortunately, won't quite go in. So it's just because that floor piece is just a little bit too close. So we'll pull everything back out again. Fortunately, it's not too complicated to do that. And because it's just sitting straight on the roof, we can just nudge it back a little bit. And make my mind up what I'm doing. Wall. And the roof goes in. Fantastic. So, this one was quite cooperative, surprisingly. I thought it was just going to keep trying to snap to the end of the other one, but that played ball okay. It's a bit all over the place in terms of the order I built things here, so I spent a lot of time running around looking at things, saying, oh, what am I going to do here, what am I going to do there, just latching onto things that are spotted and fixing them as I went, so apologies for the slight jumping around, but it's kind of the way I run around these builds and figure out what I'm doing. So I'm going to start plugging gaps now. And downstairs we've got a gap that's too small for a normal wall piece, but too big for a single one of these, so we've got a sort of T-shape in the invisible rugs there. Fortunately, these USO added half walls are very, very soft and forgiving, and they don't snap, so we can group select, rug glitch them rather. So once we get the main wall out of the way, they will sit very conveniently and just push straight into each other on the same rug like that. Just those lines a little bit. There we go. And lead it on a bit of an angle to the shape of the building downstairs. And it'll go in fine. This floor on the left that I've used here for a bit of variety looks cool, but it's textured in a sort of literal physical sense as well as just an image sense. So when you actually come to try and rug glitch on it, it doesn't really work, because your rug ends up sitting beneath the surface of the floor. which you can just about work with, but since I've got a flat ordinary one upstairs, just run up there and do it there because it's much, much easier. There's feed gaps in the roofs here which are caused me a few headaches. It's quite annoying, to be honest, but I end up pulling that roof out, I think, and then just pillar glitching in some wall pieces just to extend it up, which closes it off quite nicely. I did try a lot of varying options to try and plug the gaps, and it was infuriating, but as often is the case, the simplest option was the best. So, get this one on an angle again, try to get it right in the corner there. Which gap am I plugging up? Oh yeah, that one. So there's that little corner there. Obviously we've not got much floor to put the rug on, so everything's on a bit of an angle. We'll just slide that in. By the time I'm done, this metal wall piece that we're glitching into will be almost completely invisible. Certainly from the inside, anyway. Oh, needs must. This one's slightly awkward just because of the angles. So we'll use the corner of the rug again, move this piece in. Unfortunately, if you can just about see there, the contact point on this wall piece is not actually at the bottom, so it's slightly temperamental about rug glitching on a flat surface, which is why I'm doing it in the doorway, yeah? There we go, get it right to the corner so the rug doesn't hit the posts. And there we go, scrappy, but it looks alright. I was a bit concerned with there being so many holes in this building, but half the wall pieces just have holes in them anyway, so I decided it wasn't really worth worrying about in the end. So even though we've got that little lower level there, I wanted a smooth walkway to go across. We've got steps in, and I'm going to put some more in, which admittedly I do off camera. But a few planks added by USO here. Originally it was just CVA that we had for these, but drop in a few different styles, we've got a nice easy bridge. So, head around the outside and fix these walls a bit. I need something to stand on and something to rest the pillar on, so just build a little floor off the side. One advantage to the floor sticking out all over the place from building with weird shapes. Nice easy platform, group selected in. One on the left is actually a little too far in, so I'll have to pull it out and change it in a minute. I think I actually end up leaving this gap on the right, but as I say, there's holes all over the place anyway, so find an unglitched part of wall. There it goes, too far in. I'll fix that momentarily. The bottom of that wall, because I've extended these up, as you can see, they're just kind of floating on the inside. So I took one of the double width, quarter height walls from the half wall tab and just rug glitched that along the bottom so that it kind of tidied the whole thing up. Got that little gap between the wall and the ceiling there. So another piece of plywood and a bit more rug glitch. Still a tiny little gap, but it looks way better. There we go, just about to see that now. So, get the internal walls in upstairs. I actually ended up just adjusting this slightly. It's one of the internal non-snapping walls that have been added to USO in recent months. So it's rug glitchable if you need it to be, but in this case it just slid in just fine. Use our trusty lamppost to block up some of the outside walls. Those corrugated metal walls that are in the wood tab are just about as soft as those walls get, so they work quite well for doing things like that. And I couldn't believe this worked. But that was willing to snap straight through the other roofs, so admittedly I don't want it on that angle, but hop round here and have a look. Oh look, it went just fine. However, by this wall, I tried countless things to try and get a roof on this bit, and it was an absolute nightmare. It wouldn't snap, wouldn't cooperate at all. I tried putting a roof on first and then group selecting the whole thing in. I tried different roof pieces. I was going absolutely bonkers with it. However, I came up with a solution that sort of works. Not really going to keep the weather out, but it looks alright. Adds a little bit of variety to the outside of the build as well, so that's kind of cool. We need something to stand on, and here it is. The USA now has these radar tents in varying angles with no poles on them, so we just group select it in roughly wherever we want. Sadly, the collision boxes are quite huge on them, which is kind of irritating, but we make do. They can be rug glitched, but that is a total pain in the neck to do. Actually, the next one I do in a minute, I do rug glitch, but you'll see it's less than ideal. So, need something to support the thing. So it's up on the roof, so that post went in just fine. These ones I sort of managed to work with, but they're a bit awkward, so I've come back and I'm going to rug glitch them in as well. I'll make the thing look a lot more supported. And because those roofs stick out ever so slightly, you haven't actually got the pole sticking into the building for the most part, which is... There's one part later on where it does a little bit, but it's so minorly that it's not a problem. I'll make my mind up. There we go. Looks like it's sort of connected now. I presume they're tied together or something. Unfortunately, the poles are far too tall to be used up here, and actually on the corner down there, there's nothing to stand them on. There's no bit of roof under that corner of the tent, so I improvised on that corner somewhat. So yeah, looks alright. Needs a little bit of adjustment, and wanted a little bit of extra on there just so it didn't look so random. Make the thing look a little bit more permanent and intentional. So this one we'll eventually figure out how to rug glitch. It's on this corner, I think. No, it might be the other corner. Yes, actually thinking about it, it is. Yeah. There was an awful lot of this going on. For some reason the game just... I think it just decided it wanted to irritate me when it built this. Which was yesterday now I'm recording this. But, yes, I do sometimes wonder if it's just awkward for the sake of it. There we go. We're on a small rug as well there, just so that we've got a little bit more play with it. Camera angles being a nightmare as always. Now I can't find that small rug again. See what I mean about it being awkward for the sake of it? There we go. It's just a case of nudging it into position. I'm actually going to leave the rugs there, but because of where they are, I'm not going to build anything this high that close to the building again. It shouldn't cause too much of a problem. Just try and get that top post lined up with the existing post. I think the end result looks pretty good. I don't think I actually needed to do much more to make it look supported than that. The roof does the work for me. There we go. Jobs are getting. And that is basically the structure. However, this upper level is still kind of floating, and I had a very limited success in trying to remedy that. There's another example of the thing just being pig-headed for the sake of it. You can see it's floating there because it's stuck on the slope roof. It's not tall enough either. But round here we just about managed with a couple of extra rugs. A little bit of adjustment, it's still being awkward, so I need one more rug. So I can get around that corner. There we go. I wasn't sure if it was going to drop even further when I took that rug out, but there we go. It actually worked that time. So it's that corner looking supported. This one just dropped down in an extremely annoying fashion. There we go. Sinks right through the roof, nowhere even close, so we'll try again. I had the bright idea of adjusting the angles a little bit here, so everything lines up a bit more neatly. There we go. Unfortunately, around this side, because the gap's so small and we're over a sloped surface, I can't really put anything in there to support it. I did try and group select stuff in, but like pillars and stuff like that, but it just doesn't work, so it'll have to stay as is. But there we go, let's have a shufty around, shall we? This is the lower level that we did last time. And there's our staircase. Still plenty of room down here, despite the stairs being added. Those two stairs made out of the pallets are actually sort of rug glitched back in to adjust them, just because they weren't quite right, and I want to get the second one in there so you could just effectively run straight up the staircase if you want to. Which worked reasonably well. There we go, onto our little balcony. Get yourself in the face with the door, always good. Unfortunately that railing's floating, I'll have to do something about that. I wanted to use that curved railing for a change, because I pretty much never do. Yeah, it's being awkward there, so we'll see what happens with that. A little bit of the lighthouse wall showing through is quite nice, I think. Actually, making more use of the environment rather than just hiding it entirely. We'll head on up to the upper level. Haven't quite decided how I'm going to furnish and decorate this place yet, but I'll make my mind up. A little guard station, possibly storage area sort of thing up here. It's got pretty good views. My viewing platform out there. Looking over Boston to the north. So we'll take a look around from the outside. And that's that. So thank you very much for watching as always. If you liked it, I'm sure you know what to do by now. You can find our social media links down in the description as well. And I will be speaking to you all very, very soon. Thank you very much.